Hello, good morning. Uh, if you're watching, feel free to say hi. Today, I decided to do this. This session is not going to be very long. I decided to do this session to uh, to educate everyone about the different types of Karlakattais that they are. Karlakattai or Mudgar practice is fast becoming popular, but there are a lot of details about this practice that are not uh, widely known, right? What we know, what we have seen, what we see regarding Karlakattai practice, Mudgar practice is very limited, right? So today I'll be introducing you to 10 different types of Karlakattai. I'll try to give some interesting details about this. Uh, the way Karlakatai were made and used to be practiced was very different in old times, in ancient times. We believe that Karlakatai practice has existed in our country, in our culture, in India for almost 60,000 years, not a couple of thousand years, but almost 60,000 years, right? Our sages and gods and goddesses practiced and taught this art. The concept of strength has also changed, unfortunately, over a period of thousands of years. Now, strength has become the notion of strength has become very limited to what it used to be in old times. Right now, if you see the way strength training has is practiced is limited to uh, functions like pushing and pulling. Whereas if you see Karlakatai, you swing this weight, you swing Karlakatai in 180 degree, 360 degree dimension almost, right? So as the fire weapons, the gunpowder came into existence, our physical fitness as a civilization, unfortunately, started deteriorating because now there was no more use of having to use our body, hands, and the strength to fight, right? So that is the thing. Okay, so in today's session, I'll be introducing you to 10 different types of Karlakatai in traditional way. I will also explain how they are practiced, right? So let's start. We'll start with, and also if you have any questions, feel free. If you are watching this live, feel free to post your questions here. You can also post your questions later wherever you're watching this. This I'm streaming live on LinkedIn and YouTube. Okay, so let's start with Padi Karla, the smallest one. This is the traditional padikarla. As you can see, it's small in size. So the purpose of practicing this, especially we practice this, we use this in a pair. The purpose of practicing with padikarla was more for improving the neural coordination. Hello, Ram. Namaskar. Okay, so the purpose of using Padikarla in pair was to improve the neural coordination, the nervous coordination, the functioning of nervous system. In fact, in American U.S. Army's physical training manual in 2014, they have talked about this. They have written about this that the use of Indian clubs was specifically they introduced the use of practice of Indian clubs for their soldiers, specifically for improving the nervous functioning. Mukesh, namaste, Mukesh. Specifically improving the nervous coordination, the function of nervous system, right? So this is the traditional Padi Karla Kattai. The Indian clubs, if you have seen, they are slightly different in shape. They are more rounded at the end. And the handle is even slightly longer and they're more rounded at the end, like a teardrop shape, right? So that's about Padikala. It is excellent for when kids start practicing. It is excellent for them, but even for us, because there are a lot of movements, especially asymmetrical movements, that we can do with Padikala, which help to improve the function of central nervous system, nervous coordination. Right. So that's about Padikala. If you have any questions, feel free to send them here, and I will answer them. Next, we'll move on to Kai Karla, the widest used one, the the most widely used Karlakattai. Kai Karla, Kai means arm. So traditionally, the length of this Karlakattai for everyone should be around arm's length. You can see this is the length of my arm, right? So this is the basic Karlakattai according to how much height the Padi Karla should be. Okay. Uh, Ram, the height of Padikarla is around 1 foot. Is around 1 foot. Yes. Okay. So Kai Karla, the length of Kai Karla, the height of Kai Karla is that of your arm's length. Okay. And in traditional way, this Karlakatai was practiced by uh, sword fighters and archers. Okay, so we believe there are, see, we believe in the practice of Karlakatai, you're supposed to progress through different types of Karlakatai. You should not stick to just one kind of Karlakatai. So the way it is taught in traditional way, we practice with Kai Karla for 6 months. Then we practice with Kai Karla in both the hands, double hand Karlakatai for a year. Then we move on to practicing with Bhuja Karla for 6 months. Then we progress to practicing with Toppe Karla for 6 months. Then we progress to practicing with Kushti Karla for 6 months. And then you can move on to the most advanced Karlakatai, which is Pudi Karla, which I will show you just in a few minutes, right? So this is this is Kai Karla, and this is the basic Karlakatai. When you start practicing with Karlakatai and Mudgar, this is what you should practice with. There is a slight difference between the making of Karlakatai and Mudgar. For example, you can see there is this smooth curve, whereas in Mudgar or Persian means, let me show you. This is a Persian knee. You see this, there is no curve. This is just like a sharp curve here, right? Whereas in Karlakatai, the curve here near the body, as we reach the body, it's a smooth curve. It is the what makes Karlakatai better is that for beginners especially, this smooth curve helps to reduce the pressure on the wrist and elbows. Okay, that is why for beginners, Karlakatai is better than Karlakatai shaped like this, like a bottle, is better than something like this, a Persian meal which is like a sharp edge, right? So very important detail. That is why, that is why uh, in I have been telling this now since last 4 years. I have been teaching and I have been telling this, that Karlakatai practice, Mudgar practice, is not just for people who are already fit, who are already into fitness. In my class, there are students who are suffering from serious health issues like rheumatoid arthritis, who were not able to move, who were not able to exercise at all, and now they are able to practice Karlakatai. That is because they have followed the systematic way of practice, which is practicing first what is called as Meipadam, a system of 1,500 movements, and then we build our body, we build especially the endurance, the body renews. If you have something like, if you have autoimmune illnesses, I myself, if you know my journey, I myself have had multiple sclerosis, which is supposedly an incurable disease, right? So with the practice of Vaipadam, the body literally renews itself. And then you can move on to practice with Karlakatai. Now, many practitioners, many students, they ask me for how long we should practice Maypadam. There is no fixed answer. Everybody's body is unique, right? You will have unique health issues. You have unique health history. So that is why it is different for everyone. Some students need Maypadam practice just for 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, but some students need to practice Maypadam for as long as a year to be able to practice Karlakattai. Mudgar and Karlakattai, it was a long time doubt for me. I thought the name is different, but actually it is not. Yes, the making is also slightly different, right? Okay, so that was about Karlakattai. Remember that all Karlakattais are made of medicinal wood. Okay, in traditional times, how we made Karlakattai, we still make them of medicinal wood. If it's not made of medicinal wood, uh, it's it's not of much benefit, right? So it is made of medicinal wood, and we apply a mixture of medicinal oils like castor oil and neem oil to them. And then when we practice with these karlakatais, it is believed that they also help us to not get any kind of skin diseases. Okay, so that's how powerful our tradition and practice is. Okay, so this is Kai Karla, the simple basic Karlakatai you can start practicing with. Next is in the sequence is Bhuja Karla. So let me show you Bhuja Karla. This is Bhuja Karla. See, if you can see, Bhuja Karla is shorter than Kai Karla, right? It's shorter than Kai Karla, but let me tell you that this is much heavier and denser. So it is more. It takes a lot of more strength and endurance to practice with this, even though it looks shorter, right? So Bhuja Karla traditionally was practiced by people who were into martial arts and wrestlers. Um, Right. So Bhuja Karla. Okay. Once you, as I explained to you, once you have practiced Karla Kattai for almost one and Kai Karla for almost 1.5 years, then you can move on to practicing with Bhuja Karla. So this is a very special Karla Kattai for me because I used this to make my world record in December 2021. So that is this Karla Kattai. Okay. Then we move on to Tope Karla. Okay. Next is Tope Karla. Tope means tummy. Okay, this is shaped round like a tummy. In fact, very funny and interesting detail how in old times Tope Karla was customized for every practitioner. So the circumference, the largest circumference of Tope Karla was always supposed to be larger than the circumference of the tummy of the practitioner. So it's a very interesting and funny detail, but that's how Tope Karla was made for every practitioner, right? So this is Tope Karla. It is traditionally farmers practiced with this. And yeah, as I said, this especially helps with building the strength of the core and even back, right? So that's Toppe Karla. Again, remember that all Karla Kattais that I am showing you are made of medicinal wood. Different kinds of medicinal wood like babool tree wood or ebony, rosewood, tamarind, jackfruit, right? Okay. Next is very interesting Karla Kattai. So, okay, first we'll go with the sequence in how traditional way the sequence is. So I showed you Tope. Next is Kushti Karla. This is Kushti Karla. As the name itself suggests, Kushti Karla is especially practiced by wrestlers, grapplers. So that's Kushti Karla. This is made of Vengai wood, which is also used in a lot of temple structures in the southern part of India. So yes, that's Kushti Karla. Then in as per the sequence, next is Pudi Karla. So this is a very interesting, unique, powerful Karlakatai. In fact, okay, this is quite heavy. Ah, as you can see, this is huge. This is almost 4.5 feet. My height is 5 feet, right? But that's how Pudi Karla is supposed to be. Pudi Karlas are huge. This is just 4.5 feet Pudi Karla, but I've seen Pudi Karlas which are 5 and 5.5 feet, right? So Pudikarlas are supposed to be practiced. Hello, Akshaya. Good morning. Yes. So Pudikarlas are supposed to be practiced with single hand. Okay, so you're supposed to hold it in single hand, and you're supposed to practice with this, like doing your shoulder rotation. To be honest, I still cannot do this with single hand. I'm still improving in that practice. I can do with double hands, yes, I can do with double hands, but single hand not yet. But in traditional way, this is supposed, you're supposed to hold it in one hand and practice. This is for developing grip strength, especially for wrestlers and grapplers. See, in old times, if you have read our history, like Mahabharata and Ramayana, you must have known that those warriors, they used to, the hands were enough, their arms were enough to kill the enemy, right? So that kind of strength they developed with the practice of Karlakattai. That's how old the tradition of Karlakattai is, thousands and thousands of years. Unfortunately, we have, as a civilization, we have lost that kind of strength, but it's not that we cannot build it back, right? But then it depends. That is why you should practice it, right? Okay, so we have covered the sequence of practice. There are three interesting, very unique Karlakattais that I want to show you. One is Idumban Karlakattai. So this is somewhat like Idumban Karlakattai. It is not exactly how the Idumban Karlakattai should be. According to the scriptures, traditional Idumban Karlakattai, this down part, this down, the last pot, like structure that you can see, it is supposed to be the largest, is the biggest than these two. Okay, this represents also like three pots, how we keep in Pongal. So this represents this Karla. These three pots represent past, present, and future, right? So very spiritual meaning to the shape of this Karlakattai. This is named after Idumban. In North India, is known as Hidim. He ruled the forest, even though he was asuras. We believe that he ruled his kingdom with good values and principles. So this was worshipped once, when he was killed by Bhima. Uh, People worshipped his Karlakattai, Idumban Karlakattai. So this is very interesting. Karlakattai, it has uh, very interesting history and meaning to its shape. Now, this Karlakattai should be it should be till your hip length. Okay, the height of your hips. Now, this is not, as you can see, and this is a note to all the makers also, how to make a correct Idumban Karlakattai. The height should reach till your hips, and the last pot should be bigger than these two. Okay, I hope I'll get correct shaped Idumban Karla made. Namaste, Jyoti. I think the Idumban Karla you are showing to us is a polished one. It is a varnished one. Yes, that's right. It is the varnished one. It is not, as I said, it is not properly made. Okay. Then next one, a unique Karla Katai is Ekkala Karla. You can see it is shaped like a musical instrument. It's a musical instrument that they used in temple festivals. They still use in big temple festivals. It needs 2-3 people to hold this musical instrument, right? So it is shaped like that musical instrument, Ekkala Karla. It is also made of Vengai wood, which is, again, as I said, is used in temple structures. A lot of temple structures in southern part of India, right? So this is shaped like musical instruments. It's just a very interesting. See, in the old times, Karlakattais were shaped uh, as per their requirement, their function, right? So it didn't matter what profession you had, whether you were a musician, whether you were a dancer, whether you were an athlete, whether you were a soldier, whether you were a housewife, a farmer, carpenter. So that's why there are so many shapes of Karlakatais depending on who's practicing with it, right? It's very interesting. Okay, so the next one, the last one is which probably you don't won't get to see much. This is called Manja Karla. So can you see there are nails on it all over the Karlakatai? There are nails on it. Again, this one is quite heavy. It is uh, uh, yeah. This is around 7 kilos. Yeah. So Manja Karlakatai again. It was practiced in different kinds of sports and even any performances, right? Okay, let me see Akshaya's question. Akshaya's question is, does it mean that we should move on to heavier Karlakatai once we become comfortable with the particular weight of Karlakatai in use? Yes, of course. You should move on to heavier Karlakatai. You should also move on to a different kind of Karlakatai. Like if you move on to, like I know you have been practicing for a long time. Now next, if you move on to a heavier Karlakatai, go for a heavier Karlakatai and that too Bhuja Karla, not Kai Karla. Okay. So about Manja Karlakatai, this in in scriptures, if you see Karalan is depicted holding this kind of Karlakatai. Okay, even this Karlakatai we have seen in pictures like Rakshasis like Hidimba holding this kind of Karlakatai. So we believe that Rakshasas they are also forest spirits. They protected, they could see past, present, future. They protected the forest, right? So that is why in the north, if you see Hidimba goddess Hidimba Mata, there is a beautiful temple of her in Manali, and she is worshipped as a mother there, right? Because she protected them, she protected the forest. Okay, so they were seen holding this kind of Karlakatai. As I said, this was more for performance based and sports, right? But still, I wanted to show you this because this is very unique Karlakatai, which you probably won't get to see very often. See, okay, so yes, I think that's it. 10 different types of Karlakatais I showed you today. And if you have any questions, I'm still here for a couple of more minutes. Let me also know what you would like to see as a live class. I'm planning on doing one live class, a special live class for leg rounds, only leg rounds. So I think maybe next Sunday or a Sunday after that, I might do a special live class which will have only leg rounds using Kai Karlakatai, right? So yes, thank you for joining. Thank you, Ram, Akshaya, Jyoti, and whoever is joined. Feel free to comment and send your questions. I think my email details are also there wherever you are watching this. And if you want to get any of these Karlakatais made, feel free to contact me. Can you please once again tell the name of musical Karlakatai? It is called Ekkala Karla. Ekkala Karla. Yeah, it is very rare to see. That's right. Yes. Ekkala Karla. Okay, so if you need any of these Karlakatais made for yourself, feel free to get in touch with me and I can help you with that. So that's it then. Thank you, thanks a lot, and it's up to us to take up these actually superior ways of traditional strength building. And Karlakatai is not just for strength building. It also helps to build cardiorespiratory fitness. It helps to build stamina. It also helps to strengthen your central nervous system, right? That is why any issues with central nervous system, for example, as I gave you example of multiple sclerosis, I was able to reverse it with the practice of Mepadam and Karlakatai, right? Karlakatai, the interesting thing about Karlakatai is that you can use it in both. You can use it to involve both pathways, aerobic pathway and anaerobic pathway. So if the Karlakatai is lighter, then you will mostly use the aerobic pathway during the practice. Whereas if you use a heavy Karlakattai, then you are employing anaerobic pathway also during your practice, right? So yes, that in that way, Karlakattai practice is unique. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and do let me know what you would like to see more sessions about, and I'll definitely do them in the future. Thanks, and take care. Bye.